Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Kelly. I am the chairman of the Northern New York Power Proceeds Allocation Board. I think maybe we'll start just by going around and having everybody introduce themselves, starting with the board members.
Bob McNeil, member of the board.
Roger Charlo, member of the board.
Teresa Phelan, member of the board.
Ian Maxwell, also member of the board.
Tricia Wilson, staff.
Richard Smith, staff.
Brian Morrow, tech support.
Karen White, Power Authority.
And how about on screen?
I'm Karen DeLinz, Corporate Secretary.
Valerie Nudie, Administrative Assistant.
Welcome, everybody. This is a scheduled board meeting. It's been duly noticed, as is required by the open meetings law. So I think to get started, we'll start with the adoption of the proposed budget. Can I have a motion?
So move the agenda.
Second.
We have Bob making the first, Terry making the second. Any comment, any questions, any discussion? All in favor of accepting the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have it. Before we get started, I just want to point out there are 3 projects in front of us today. The members were polled to see if any have any pre-existing relation or familiarity with the projects. I know that with 3 of them today, because of the role that I serve with the IDA and as administrator with the River Valley Redevelopment Agency, we do have familiarity and awareness and participation in some of the projects. So I just wanted to disclose that and make sure everyone was aware. Bob?
Brett, same concerns, the same reason. And I think that, as I understand it, we should not make a motion.
I think we'll
any of these.
Yeah, we'll probably look for some of the other members of the board to take that active role.
Folks will have to carry the day.
I think we can do that.
Well, I have a similar issue related to the North Country Children's Museum. As a member of the Board of Trustees of the Savings Bank, I voted to approve a gift from the bank to the museum. So for that reason, I determine that I'm probably a conflict.
Okay.
Nothing here.
Ian, okay. The meeting minutes, we've all been provided the meeting minutes. I'm going to ask if there's a motion to approve them to get it on the floor. Terry Phelan first, Bob McNeil second. Any discussion, amendments, alterations for the previous minutes? Hearing none. All in favor of adopting them? Say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. A fund update. Richard Smith, Nnyppab's Director of Business and Project Development, would you please give us an informational update on the fund?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, you have in your packets the Northern New York Economic Development Fund update through June of 2017. I'd like to review that with you now. Total deposits to the fund to date is $2,382,000. Total interest earned on deposits to date, $6,099, for total funds deposited of $2,388,099. As to expenditures, there has been nothing expended for administrative expenses or disbursements to grantees. That leaves the current fund balance at $2,388,099. As to awards, there has been no awards for standard or energy-related projects. This means that the total fund benefits available to be awarded by the Northern New York Power Proceeds Allocation Board is $2,338,099. As to energy-related projects, a minimum of 15% of the fund is dedicated to energy-related projects, that is by statute. And that amount today stands at $357,300. There has been no awards made for energy-related projects to date, and so the fund benefits currently available to be awarded for energy-related projects is $357,300. Today's recommendations are all for standard projects and amounts to $400,000. As to the power that underlies or supports the program, There is today 20 megawatts of St. Lawrence County economic development power supporting the program. Page 2 would be filled with project-specific information. Since this is our first meeting where we are contemplating projects, there is no information there. But going forward, we would have that data available for you. If you have any questions related to the information I've provided, I'd be happy to try to answer that.
Anybody have any questions for Rich? All right, hearing none, we don't need any official action on that. It's informational only. Let's move on the agenda to the award of fund benefits. We have 3 projects today. Trish, do you want to walk us through them, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the first of 3 projects to present to the allocation board for your consideration, staff is recommending approval of a fund benefit award of $60,000 to Clarkson University to expand its Damon Hall Business Incubator. Appears as Exhibit A1 in your packet. This project will complete the transformation of the building that has been vacant for the last 20 years into usable incubator space in support of light and advanced manufacturing. The project to transform Damon's 22,000 square feet of space was divided into 3 individual projects at a total cost of $1.6 million. The first 2 phases addressed renovations to the building's envelope and were recently completed, allowing the initial tenant to move in. Phase 3 is the focus of this funding request, which aims to complete the 2nd and 3rd floor renovations, comprising 6,600 at a total project cost of $300,000. Clarkson's downtown campus currently provides the only business incubation space available in the North Country. The applicants and existing incubators are presently at or near full occupancy, so this project will alleviate current space issues and provide program growth opportunities. In summary, a number of aspects of this project present a strong case to support a recommendation to award fund benefits under the Innovation Entrepreneur Development Track. Clarkson's downtown campus currently offers the only business incubators in the region. The project proposes to alleviate pressure on existing space and allow for more companies to scale at a sustainable level prior to graduating from the incubator and relocating in the area. The project is consistent with the priorities of North Country Regional Economic Development Council, which include attracting and nurturing entrepreneurs. And the project aligns with the St. Lawrence County Economic Development Study completed by McKinsey & Company that calls for the region to energize its entrepreneurial ecosystem. I invite any questions that you have.
Is this the building that, where the company, startup companies building?
Yes,
Electric
motors,
Yeah.
correct, yep. Do you want to vote on these individually? Do you want to?
Given
I think
circumstances, it might be
probably makes
a bad
sense.
idea if we,
Why don't we have a motion? Staff is recommending the allocation of funds. Why don't we have a motion to accept that or to adopt that recommendation?
I would move to adopt that recommendation for
Okay.
$60,000 for Clarkson.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It was motion by Roger, seconded by Ian. Any further question or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Trish, how about Connexus?
As Exhibit A2 in your packet, staff is recommending the Power Proceeds Allocation Board approve a fund benefit award of $200,000. Connexus is the U.S. division of Comtest Networks headquartered in Ottawa that builds telephony equipment for a worldwide market. This project establishes a U.S. facility to double manufacturing capacity, integrate injection molding and surface mount technology, and enable them to more effectively deliver current and new product lines to telecom providers around the world. As a result of this project, Connexus will hire 29 new FTEs over the next 3 years. In summary, the following factors lend themselves to a recommendation favoring this request. This project supports efforts to bring new firms to St. Lawrence County. Hiring of 29 employees, including 3 professional, 10 to 12 skilled technical, 14 to 16 labor positions, who will be providing skills and job training. Connexus intentions to export injection molded plastics to Canada, recognizing that export activities are widely valued for their ability to drive economic growth. Connexus' commitment to create spin-off value by purchasing locally. The strategies and priorities of the North Country Regional Economic Development Council, which include energizing communities by building on growth in manufacturing industries and leveraging the gateways to Canada, and the economic development study recently completed by McKinsey and Company that calls for the region to grow its advanced manufacturing presence. I invite any questions.
Only to comment, that sounds great that they will be able to produce the kinds of jobs they're producing. So that, I think it's okay.
I think they're going to train these folks up.
Yeah. Still in the industrial park? Are they?
The Ogdensburg Commerce Park.
It's the former Breckenridge building. So
Okay.
the newer of the two former Breckenridge buildings.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Terry Phelan makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll start.
Ian seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Trish. North Country Children's Museum.
As appears as Exhibit A3 in your packets, the final of 3 projects present the allocation board for your consideration. Staff is recommending approval of a fund benefit award of $140,000 to North Country Children's Museum. North Country Children's Museum seeks the funding to establish a permanent home for the museum, which offers STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math-oriented educational programming to their target market, Adirondack tourists and families located in the region that have children ages 12 and under. The project includes the purchase of a building, exhibit design, construction and installation, building renovations, infrastructure upgrades, and other costs. There are currently no similar U.S. offerings within a 2-hour radius, with the closest children's museum located in Canada and inaccessible to some families. The project is expected to draw more than 10,000 visitors annually to its downtown Potsdam location, supporting area restaurants, hotels, and shops at an estimated economic impact of 3 times that of the annual operating budget. In summary, the following factors lend themselves to a recommendation favoring this request under the tourism marketing track. There is currently no similar U.S. offering within a 2-hour radius. The project supports regional tourism with an estimated draw of 10,000 visitors to downtown Potsdam annually, with approximately 20% of that comprised of tourists. Research estimates that the economic spin-off from children's museums at 3 times the annual operating costs. As such, it would contribute roughly $480,000 additional in economic benefit to area restaurants, hotels, and shops. The project will help revitalize Potsdam's Market Street National Historic Register District and adds to a growing countywide tourism revitalization. This project supports strategies and priorities identified by the North Country Regional Economic Development Council, including promoting tourism as a pathway to diversifying the economy, and attracting private investment that revitalizes communities. It encourages adaptive reuse of an existing structure located in or near a village, and broadening access points for arts and culture. And the project aligns well with the economic development study recently completed by McKinsey and Company that calls for community revitalization and increased tourism. I invite any questions.
Another great project.
The study also referenced trying to work further into the lower down into the education levels with science and technology. As I recall, they pointed out that we have good collegiate resources, but in the K-12 area, maybe not so much, and this should reinforce that as well.
Entrepreneurial perspective, yep.
Great opportunity.
Yep.
Any comments, questions, discussion? For Trish? A motion? Ian? A second. Ian Maxwell makes the motion. Second.
I'll second that.
Second, Roger Charlo. Any comment, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
You have one abstention.
Right.
We have the motion carrying with one abstention with Terry Phelan. Other business, an agenda item. Any other business that anybody wants to bring forward or would like to discuss at the board level?
Do we have any other applications coming into the pipeline?
We have at least one preliminary worksheet that's been completed for a project. We expect to move that forward. We're waiting for early determination of eligibility. And we have several that have asked about the program and are in various stages of completion. See if there's some interest in the program, I guess is the answer to your question.
How do they know to apply? How
Honestly, a lot of it is our economic development partners, knowing that this grant fund exists for projects to advance good programs. There has been some press related to the project, to the availability of the funds. And when I'm not talking, I get invited to a lot of meetings, and I get introduced to a lot of people that have projects they want to propose and are interested if proceeds might be a fit. So we have those conversations, and I invite them to take the next step when it's appropriate.
Once a month, we meet at the St. Lawrence County IDA, what we call the St. Lawrence County Advisory Board, which was an extension of the McKinsey Economic Development Study. A lot of folks who come to that meeting, Patrick, for example, Empire State Development, Tony Collins, Zvisa Fran. These folks are hearing a lot about the proceeds program.
Okay.
They're helping to kind of spread the word a little bit.
Will there be a news release or a story from this meeting or from the trustee? My point is, if there's an announcement, I would tag at the end of it that if people have interest in the program, they contact Trish or whatever the avenue is. Just that we'll get some free advertising out of it, and I think that will help maybe the people, the kind of the retail customers who might not otherwise know about it, become aware. Once money starts changing hands, people start paying attention more.
Absolutely, and I think it'll give them an opportunity to look at what those projects were.
Sure.
And whether or not they would fall under meet the criteria to, initiate the conversation at least.
Yep.
Because there are probably a lot of organizations out there who are thinking it would be nice if they could find some resources.
Yep.
But aren't really paying close enough attention. So I think it behooves us to get as much word out. There's a lot of money that's available here, and I think there's some great opportunities for a lot of potential startups.
And it's nice to get people asking or talking to us or Patrick that they have a project, because this may not be the right tool or funding stream for them. It could be part of their funding stream, but even getting them to start the conversation, be able to direct them in the right way early in their project is very beneficial. So we did have a lot of conversation internally here at Nnyppab on when the right point to publicize the outcome of this event is.
Yep.
It will probably come as a result of the trustee vote when it's formally approved. But that exactly what you're saying. Once that hits the paper, we're going to get some attention.
If you can peel that away as part of after the trustee meeting, maybe a special press release in this county alone about the program, so it doesn't get lost in whatever else the trustees are doing. I think it might highlight it more clearly to people. The other thing is, if board members have an idea for a project or are approached or think of something, I presume the call is to you.
Pass it off early.
Okay.
Because if somebody is interested in a project, you don't want them talking to a board member extensively, and you want to have to recuse yourselves from being involved later.
Good point.
As soon as they say, I have a project for proceeds, then please, funnel them to us. And if they want to dive deeper into the conversation, then you may want to have a chat with Karen Thillens there.
But it's appropriate for us to recommend that they
contact
look
me
into this.
And or promote it.
Yeah, promote it.
Just any comments on that, Karen?
Oh, no, I think you should feel free to promote it, but once somebody shows an interest, they should definitely contact Tricia.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is, if you're talking with somebody, or if you go somewhere, you drive by somewhere, or Ian, if you think of something and you say, geez, this seems to fit, making that connection. Let's not send them to a website. We have the advantage of knowing the right people for them to talk to, try and facilitate those discussions.
Absolutely.
When you look at some of the other agencies who have provided funding, is the criteria pretty much the same, or is there that big a disparity between what the proceeds board says and maybe, for example, the IDA? I'm not that familiar with it, so I'm just curious, because it is great that there are a number of opportunities where funding could be given, which it was in each of these cases today.
Here's a catch-all answer. In some instances, the other programs are very, very similar, like at the state level. In some, they're more restrictive and there wouldn't be a fit. And in others, they're more accommodating. And, so it's kind of the answer is a little bit of everything, but they're not, I don't think the guidelines are unduly restrictive. But on the other hand, not everything necessarily will fit. And like Trish said, there are other programs. If somebody called us and said, I need help starting a grocery store somewhere, this might not be the right fit, but there may be another regional program that is.
Right.
But for, your traditional, I want to do warehousing, manufacturing, assembly, R&D, they all sort of fit nicely together. And as we saw today, can use multiple programs if necessary.
So the mission of each agency, in some cases, can be exact, but
They're going to be there's nuances.
recognizing what we know, what we're charged with at this.
And a lot of what is the purposes overlap. The legislative and statutory flexibilities don't always. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Any other discussion or questions? With that, our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October 11th, 2 o'clock, right here. I think that pretty well concludes. If somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn.
Roll motion.
Ian makes the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.